We've been playing Jesus for 500 years. Like literally.
Yeah.
Jesus doesn't look anything like Brad Pitt.
You can identify everything but the children of God. I need my people to wake up and understand that this is a propaganda.
The curse of the pharaohs are a poor example of what wait for the plantation.
Beware false prophets who come dressed in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravening wolves.
You black man!
He that stealeth the man.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
I want to say shalom and blessings to all of my brothers and sisters, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertain the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Elohim and the promises, whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, our Mashiach, our Adonai came, who is over all, Elohim blessed forever and ever. Hallelujah. Amen. Shalom and blessings, brothers and sisters. I want to welcome you and thank you for joining in to this fellowship with your brother Ibri and the brother Kadar. What's going on, bro?
Shalom and blessings, friends. Shalom, brother Evie. Shalom to y'all in the chat. Shalom, salt of the earth. Giving thanks and blessings to the Most High, Yahweh, to the Messiah, Yahweh Shah. And we ready to get it in. We ready to get the word in, the true word, and wake up some more of our people so we can get up out of here.
Absolutely. I know it's a lot on your mind. It's a lot on my mind too, you know, especially with what's been going on and a lot that's been brought out. We're going to be talking about Christianity tonight and how Christianity has destroyed our people. You know, we've been talking about this a lot over the past few months, so everybody knows where we stand on this. But what we want to do tonight is, like we always do, solidify it. You know, every time we get a chance to bring something out to the family, that's what we're going to do. And so I'm going to let the brother Kadar grace the family tonight, and then I'm going to follow his lead from there. But we got some interesting things to bring out tonight.
Yeah, we, you know me, I always talking to Christians and some Islamic people and even the Israelites. We got Israelites that still holding on to Christianity. So today, you know, I sent out this thing on Facebook showing that the Catholic Church is proving that they was the ones that changed the Shabbat to the first day of the week. You know, I can see a lot of people that didn't like it. I had one person tell me don't send them nothing else. But you know, we're gonna pull up the source that Sister Jill had put it up there. That's where I got it from. But I think it came out, well, it was published actually in 1884, I remember. But I think our first time I seen it was in 2018, back in June of that year, and I could never find that source again. And she had put it up, and I'm like, wow, that's what I've been looking for. So I like to give thanks and glory to y'all that's on here. D. Brown, faithful sister in Yah, Jason Camp 4. Hope I'm saying that right. Shebri Yah, Katrina Brown, Ultimate Training, Joy 31608, Hadash Ben Yah. Peace and blessings to all y'all. Let's get it in.
Amen. And you know, like we said, we a lot of what we do is in our fellowship is we like to bring out things to help edify the people. You know, a lot of us grew up in Christianity, and then it may be even some people still listening. You know, not everybody listening in shines into the chat. You know, so there's a lot of people in the background who's hearing these things, and you know, maybe they taking it to heart, maybe they not. You know, like we read all the time, dealing with our people, you always have some who believe, some who don't. But in any case, you know, by the grace of the Most High, we're able to put things out for our people to be challenged, you know what I mean? And for you to investigate yourself. Shalom, Sister Linda Ricks. Shalom to you. Hope you had a blessed day. But yeah, let's get into it, bro, because I got this one deal, this one source, and shout out to the brother Yashadiq Israel. You know, he's that brother is real good with keeping me up on sources, you know, a lot of different sources that confirm the Bible. And so I'm gonna be bringing out a source tonight, but yeah, let's get into it, bro. Where you want to go first?
Let's bring out that source of deal. Shalom to Yashadi, because today, brother, you on here. Man, that source you sent, brother, Ibri, we was looking at it. Wow, that book, that's something to bring out. But let's pull up that source today I sent you on the Roman biggest challenge, I believe.
Yeah.
Roman biggest challenge. Shalom, Sister Rachel, Yah's daughter. Shalom, Paula Lawrence, Diane Gardner Young, shalom.
Yep, shalom, everybody.
Yvette Rivera, shalom. All right, so look at this source right here, y'all. And it reads, prove to me, this is the Roman biggest challenge. Prove to me from the Bible alone that I am bound to keep Sunday holy. There is no such law in the Bible. It is a law of the Catholic Church alone. The Catholic Church say, by my divine power, I abolish the Sabbath day and command you to keep holy the first day of the week. And lo, the entire civilized world bow down in reverence, obedience to the command of the Holy Catholic Church. And we have a source right here and below Thomas Enright. So that alone, I remember I seen that back in 2008. And when I come up to Christians and I say, you know, you are of the Catholic Church, and they'll say, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Right there alone tells you that every single church that we have in America and around the world that bows down on Sunday is of the Catholic Church. That's who told them to do it, and they doing it. You got anything on that, brother?
Nothing other than when it comes to traditions, you know, and everything. One thing we was talking about earlier, Christianity has a stronghold on our people, mentally, spiritually, and physically. You know, you have a lot of people who haven't even been to a church in a while, but will still defend Christianity.
Wow.
You know, and so when you think about, I think Brother Cleo was talking about this once too, talking about the Chaldeans and the land of the Chaldeans, you know, how in the end time, he talks about bringing judgment on the Chaldeans and a deeper understanding behind that. Long story short, the Bible tells us that it's spiritual wickedness in high places. And so with this spiritual wickedness, they're able to sway our people in a way to keep us tied down mentally and spiritually. And it's, what I'm saying may sound sort of vague, but is really deep. You know what I mean? Like how a spell is cast on a person, so to speak. That's what Catholicism has done to the world, you know, particularly our people. there's a really deep spell that's cast on our people through this religion. And so that's something that we really have to factor in when dealing with this. But that's pretty much all I have for now.
Yeah, you're saying exact what you gonna pull out what the brother Yashadik sent on that reading,
Mm-hmm.
how we can see the deceitfulness even back from the beginning, y'all. Wait till brother pull out this source. But I want to go next to I think it's Exodus 31 and 13 and 16, I believe. You know, I left my Bible downstairs. I should have brought it with me.
You said Exodus 31.
31 and 13 to 16.
Exodus 31, verse 13, right here.
Okay, it says, speakest thou there also unto the children of Yasharal, saying, verily, my Sabbath ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generation, that ye may know that I am Yahweh, that doeth sanctify you. Ye shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy unto every one that defiles it shall surely be put to death. Whosoever else do any work therein, their soul shall be cut off from among his people. Whew. Lord have mercy, that's rough. All right, let's go to the next verse, it's 15. The sixth day man may, hold on, I can't see that. Oh, 6 day may work be done, but in the seventh is this Shabbat of the rest, holy to Yahweh. Whosoever doeth any work in the Shabbat day, he shall surely be put to death. Wherefore the children of Yasharal shall keep the Shabbat to observe this Shabbat throughout their generation for a perpetual covenant. A perpetual covenant. Now, can y'all get this? Can you imagine if Hamashiach never died for the breaking of the law and took away the death penalty? Whoo, boy, we'd be dead and wouldn't know why. Give thanks to the Hamashiach. Give thanks, give thanks to Yahweh, most definitely, for sending the Hamashiach to die for our correction of breaking the statute, laws, and commandments, to taking away that death penalty, that what you call curse of the death. That's what he did, because we would be in some deep stuff. We wouldn't be here today. Wouldn't be no Israelites talking.
Yeah. Also, what was I about to say? I was looking at a comment here and I kind of lost my train of thought. But when go ahead and finish, man. It'll come back to me.
Yeah. So that right there is proved that even we ain't got to go there, but even if you look at the book of Daniel, if I'm not mistaken, Daniel chapter 9, and it tells you, or Daniel chapter 7, I think it's late in the scriptures, it tells you that the beast, which we know as Rome, thought to change times and laws, and one of the laws that we know that they changed with the source we put up is the Shabbat. And so and calls, even in the book of Maccabees, it calls us to eat pork and stuff. It's a lot of stuff they did, and the Most High knew that we was going this captivity because we broke statutes, laws, commandments. So I give thanks to the Most High for sending our brethren to die and take away that curse of sin, death from us. He paid a penalty for that. Other than that, we wouldn't be here today talking. So we need to always reverence the Messiah. A lot of people say Israelites don't reverence the Messiah. They crazy. If it wouldn't be for the Messiah, we wouldn't be here today, buddy. So according to what we read, and the reason that stands because we know, I can't remember the scripture, can't believe I can't, but Brother Eric might know the scripture when it says that the land was able to rest every Sabbath ever since we've been kicked out.
Mhm.
So that's something that we need to think about. We know that somebody ain't in the right land that claim they are. But anyway, that's a whole nother teaching. So giving thanks to the Messiah on that, and just want to bring that out to let people see that the Shabbat was a perpetual covenant, which we, of course, we can't keep it the way we're supposed to be because we're in the land of our captivity. But we know that it ain't no first day of the week.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then with Mashiach coming, knowing that we will go into captivity, that blood covers our transgressions, because if the Sabbath is to be kept perpetually, you know, a lot of us aren't able to even do that.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
So the Most High, we see in the law, he made no allowance. He didn't say, you know, whoever work on the Sabbath shall surely die. But if you got to work, I understand. You know, he made no allowance for it. So we have to, you know, sort of be, what's the word I'm looking for? Compassionate in that regard, especially toward one another.
That's right. And towards the Hamashiach, because we will be done, buddy. Hey, sisters, pull up the other comment Sister Jill put up here. Look at this. You see it?
Which one?
It says, what, Brother Kadar can't remember that? Yeah, I'm human. Trying to be funny. But yeah, you know, that right there. So yeah, we have compassion on one another, because sometimes, you know, you got some camp guys, but they hard. They'll say, man, you been cutting on your beard? Yeah. I seen them do that. People start rubbing their face. They look all guilty. Or they'll say, you ain't keeping the Sabbath. You know, I'm thinking, you know, that, you know. So, but we know here that the Catholic Church changed the day to the first day of the week, and a lot of and that right there was the big challenge, because if you go deep in that conversation, I mean that article, it was a Roman, actually it was a Catholic priest that said, I would give anybody $1,000 and you prove to me that we're supposed to keep Sunday holy. And nobody came up with the proof.
Yeah.
So
but,
go ahead.
Brother Yashadik, he sent me another book that deals with the secret relationship between the blacks and the Jews. And it starts out with the history of the Negroes in Spain back with Christopher Columbus and leading up to the slave trade and everything. So very, very profound book, man. A lot of information to help you understand what we're really dealing with.
Yeah.
You know, Catholicism and Christianity had an agenda when it comes to our people, you know, but
Yes, I know. I like that. We was reading earlier. I was like, wow. But also, I had somebody tell me now, y'all, that the Christian church, when you pay tithes, we know good well, we did the whole thing on tithes. But when you pay tithes to the Christian church, it's okay to give tithes to your pastor, because they had taken, you know, the offerings of the Levites. Nowhere in scripture where no Roman Catholic Church or no American or wherever you at so-called church is going to take the office of a Israelite. Shalom, Brother Banya. Shalom.
Oh, peace and blessings, bro. Long time no hear from, brother. How you been?
Pretty good. Been pretty good. So yeah, I had somebody to say that to me, that the pastors that we have in these Christian churches, they are the new Levites. So I said, you know, it's sad, just like, you know, what the title said, that Christianity has damaged our minds. And they even we know they replaced the day with Sunday. And also now they're replacing the pastors and calling them Levites. And that's why they giving them money with no ties. Really ain't got nothing to do with money, but that's a whole nother subject. So I want to go to Isaiah 66. Before we go, Brother Banyard, you got something on this? I know you ready to bring something out.
I'm just listening, bro. I just got home for lunch.
Okay, all right.
I'm just here to show some support, bro.
All right. So Isaiah 66, I think it was verse 20. Verse 20 to 21, something like that. This is the last time, this is an end time prophecy, and we're gonna see if the Christian church, you know, the pastors is taking the Christian is have the same office as the Levite priests. So it reads, and they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto Yahweh out of all the nations upon the horses and in chariots and in litters and upon muscles, upon swift, I can't see, swift beasts to my holy mountain, Jerusalem, said Yahweh, as the children of Israel bring an offering in our clean vessel unto the house of Yahweh, and I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, said Yahweh. We see that the Levites is going to get their place back in Israel's history. We do not see in these verses where the Christian pastors is Levites. And I was just blown away when this person said that to me, because I would say you're only supposed to give, according to the scriptures, Levites are offering because they don't have no inheritance. And they was like, well, the pastors of the Christian church is the Levites. And I was like, oh my God, you talking about replacement theology? Lord, anything else you got on that, brother?
I mean, that's pretty clear. I mean, we see clearly that I mentioned that there's an agenda behind Catholicism, and we see that the main agenda is that they want to replace our hierarchy, by, like you said, the new Christian priests and all that are the new Levites. But when you look at Catholicism, their priesthood mimics or tries to mimic the Levite priesthood. They're just pagan, They have priests, like all pagan gods have priests, It just so happens to be that their priest tries to mimic a lot of, even down to the decorations, how they adorn, how the priests were adorned, they try to mimic it. But then when you look at all the idolatry they mix it with, and the world marvels after that. So just imagine when our priesthood is set up and we, dressed in our garments and doing the things that the Most High ordained us to do, how the world will marvel after us. That's the whole idea, to replace us.
My bad, bro. I didn't mean. I was gonna say, if I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. It's all cultural appropriation. It's all replacement theology. It's all supersessionism. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I say that is because the same way that they take the things that we invented today, and then they do it themselves, but they put their own spin on it according to their own nation, right? They took what we was following and they turned it into a religion, and they put a spin on it according to whatever gods they were worshiping. That's why you got all when you go back into Psalms 83 and you look at the people that was confederate against Israel, each one of these people got their own religion now, and within their own religion, they claiming they the people of God, and that that Israel doesn't hold the position that they had with the Most High, so that all Christianity is, and Islam and every other religion is an attempt to culturally appropriate what belonged to the Israelites first, and just to put a spin on it and say that the Most High has done away with his people.
Yep. Or they'll try to say there is no spiritual hierarchy.
Yeah. Yeah. No spiritual hierarchy. We're the hierarchy now. We're the authority.
They hide behind the guise of equality, spiritual equality. When the whole time they're using that to keep the people of the Most High subordinate.
Hey, there was somebody who had a question. Now, I think it was a little bit off topic, but where was it?
Cool J.
Mm-hmm. So he asked, should we be following the lunar solar calendar and not the Pope Gregorian calendar? I would say, because we dwelling in this land, it would behoove us to be knowledgeable of that calendar, because whether we agree with that calendar or not, the society that we're trying to operate in is not that's the calendar they operating off of. But if you want to go according to feast days, according to according to what's biblical, I would say you should be following a 364 day calendar. This Gregorian calendar has the beginning of the year starting in the dead of winter, when the beginning of the year should be starting in the springtime. But it's hard to really hard to really pinpoint the beginning of the year for some people, because when these times were calculated, it was according to where it was at, which was Israel. But if you dig into it and you go into the naval observatory and figure out when the sun rises and when it sets, and if you can find a time where it's equal parts day and equal parts night, according to over there in that area, then you could say, okay, the beginning of the year starts in March 20th or March 21st or what have you, So I would say if you're trying to keep the feast days, you're trying to keep the correct days according to what's written, I would say it probably would behoove you not to do it according to the Gregorian calendar, because the Most High is perfect in everything. And if you follow the 364 day calendar, that's 52 weeks, right? And that's 52 Sabbaths, right? So it's evenly put in there, and it doesn't change, and it doesn't move from that. We've had brief conversations about it, but we've never brought any lessons out about it. And I think it's time that we start touching on that. That'll be something in the near future that we touch on concerning some people call it the Enoch calendar, but it has all the seasons in it, and the way the seasons would go is 30 30 31 30 30 31 30 30 31 and 30 30 31. So you're dealing with 4 seasons, and within each season there's 3 months. All right, 3 months, and the last month is 31 days. You know, and that's it. You know, Hebrews dealt with ordinal numbers. We did deal with the sun rising and the moon and things like that, according to farming and seasons, for springtime. But once we got to the beginning of the year, we wasn't counting on any suns and moons to determine, what the month was or what day it was. We dealt with ordinal numbers. One through 7. Amen, bro. Days were 1 through 7. We didn't deal with any of these Greco names, Monday through Sunday and all that. And that's why I was saying before, we're actually a Hellenized. We're Hellenized like our forefathers were. These are Greco names. These names that we days of the months, the days of the weeks, all borrowed from Greek gods.
Yeah.
We went 1 through 7. 7th day with the Shabbat. Period. We didn't have to worry about if it was, Yeah. And the Romans borrowed their gods from the Greeks, So that tells you, even after the Greek Empire was over, Israelites were still dealing with Hellenization, And I was sitting back and I was working today and I was considering when the Most High said that that a nation would bring a nation from afar against Israel, and he said he would put a yoke upon their neck until he had destroyed them. I'm starting to believe that might have happened back when our forefathers were being Hellenized. What did the Most High mean when he said they would destroy us? We would lose all understanding of who we are. We would be destroyed as a people.
That to me would line up more with where we are now, because even back then they still understood, at least the Southern Kingdom.
True.
But when you look at where we are now, man, like we don't know who we are,
Yeah. What's interesting though is what we dealing with right now, as far as us identifying who we are. The Northern Kingdom been dealing with that, and because of the way we treated them, and I don't want to even say the way we treated them, but the way our forefathers treated the Northern Kingdom when they were cast away, and the enmity that grew between them, that we wasn't even looking at each other as the same people. The Most High did what he did so that we can't look at each other that way. Now we can't be looking at each other like you forgot the Most High. We all didn't forgot who we were now. We all in the same condition. We all need Mashiach now. Now what you got to say, Judah? You can't look at your brothers from the Northern Kingdom now like, oh, you forgot the Most High. Most High cast you away.
Look, it's almost the other way around now. You see somebody who look like you from another country, you get fascinated.
Yeah, right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's the other way around now.
Spanish.
Exactly. So that goes back to what you were saying before, brother. Like it was a dispensation of time involved with that. It wasn't for today.
Exactly right. I remember when I was up north and I was making a delivery, and this guy he was talking to me on the phone. I couldn't find the place. He sounded, just like a regular Spanish guy. We was fussing, arguing. I'm like, man, I see this, Mexican. I get here, I'm gonna go off on him. Boy, I got there and jumped out of the truck. He said, man, now you fine. And I looked at him, man, he was blacker than me. He made me look light skinned. I was like, what the? He said, yeah, I'm from South America, but I'm a brother like you. I said, man, I didn't think you was a brother on the phone. So you're right. Yeah. Wow. Brother Yashadid, you got something you want to say?
No, I'm just feeding off of y'all in the background right now, man. This is I'm just feeding off of y'all for right now at least.
Brother Yash, I'm about to bust him over the head with what you gave me, right? So this your fault what I'm about to do right now.
You got to do it.
Hey, listen, man. I'm gonna have to take off in a couple of minutes. So if I drop out, you know what I mean. But before I do, I just want to say shalom and blessings to everybody, man. And thanks for continuing the work, brothers, and putting out all this great information, all these good scriptures. Man, it's awesome, man, to have you brothers out here being able to do the work with the Most High, man. And as always, man, I'm always listening in, man. It helps me get through my day, man, when you brother pull out these scriptures and get my mind going, because it's nothing but chaos at my job. I can throw my earbuds in, I'll be like, yeah, now I can listen to somebody that makes sense. You know what I mean? But
it's so bad you almost created your own word for it.
Yeah, man.
Hey, Brother Banya, we got to bring out that 400-year prophecy again. Yeah, people talking about it.
Oh man, you know what I noticed, bro?
We gotta bring it back out.
If you type it in now, our videos pop right up, man. Our videos all over there. First things you start seeing if you type it in. I don't know if it's my search engine, but I gotta check. But if you type in, hold on, let me see. Nah, I don't got no. But yeah, our videos are all up there. People running, bro. You know what I mean? People run, bro. That's all I can say, man.
Too much. Brother Eric brought out that Amorite the other night. I said, man, we gotta get
I was thinking about that earlier.
Yeah.
I was saying to myself, okay, what did the iniquity of the Amorites mean for it to be full? What's that supposed to mean? It's supposed to mean either the iniquity is supposed to come to an end, or the Amorites are supposed to come to an end, right?
Yeah.
So after our people went into the land, did the Amorites exist anymore after that?
Yep.
Yeah,
they did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then Esau or the Edomites ruled in their steed, right?
Yep. I didn't even bring that up.
So if it's got to be one of them, and they still existing after the fact of our people going into the land, I would like somebody to explain to me, what does it mean for the iniquity of the Amorites to be full?
It's talking about that sin, brother. It brought it out.
Exactly.
And it's fulfilled. We ready.
You got to check that comment board too, bro. There was a couple of questions on there for you. On the Salt of the Earth comment board about the iniquity of the Amorites.
Yeah, okay.
You know, people doing drive-bys.
Yeah.
Now, you know what it was? Through that study, you find out that whoever dwelt in that land, once you picked up, after the first ones were gone, which were the giants, so to speak, then I got to go back and go through all that. But anyway, whoever came in that land, once you picked up their customs and their wickedness, you became the Amorites.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sort of like that. And the Most High attributed, you became those Amorites, their wickedness. And, you know, so with all the ways that are being the wicked ways that are being forced on society today, that those who are in control have become the Amorites.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the other points we didn't talk about, I briefly touched on it also, because I wanted to make a point that when they were the Rephaim,
The Rephaim.
the one part about the giant was they trusted in their own strength. I have an old writing somewhere, but it spoke specifically that they were destroyed because they trusted in their own strength, and because of that, they were ruling very oppressively over the people because no one could do anything about it. I say that because of the oppressive nature that we have, not only in this country. The Amorites is ruling on both sides of the ocean. You can kind of say they ruling through the might of our army and through the deception. Yeah, the deception of those who have come to take our, coming in our name, the name of our people, and they're deceiving the whole world. So, and they're the ones who's controlling all this wickedness. There's gonna be a fight.
Hey, brother Yash, I'm gonna let you know how you done struck a nerve with brother Bunyard. Whenever you say something, and then you start hearing that clicking in the background, that means you done got him started.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man.
We don't want him late.
He dig. But I gotta go though, man. It's like I'm like, man, I'm over here looking at the clock. I'm like, man.
You want to bring something out?
I was just gonna say, man, the last people to rule in their stead is still existing.
Exactly.
They still here, and just like Brother Yash said, right? The scripture says that she ruled on many waters. That's all I'm gonna say. She on many waters.
Dropping the mic.
Yeah.
And
I gotta go. Shalom.
I told you, dropping the mic.
Yeah, it says Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
Esau have I, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Christians don't like to hear that. They'll say it don't mean that. I said, well, okay. But brother, you going to bring out that work on how these have we been deceived and damaged with mind and Christianity?
All right, so like I said, what I'm about to do, I'm gonna blame it on brother Yash. So, if y'all ready for this, I'm gonna go ahead and pop it up. All right, here we go.
Bring it out.
Now, the title of this, let me get the title. The title of this is the religious instruction of the Negroes in the United States. All right. Savannah, published by Thomas Peirce in 1842. All right, so this book is pretty much describing how the Negroes were assimilated into the religion here in America, the Christian religion. All right, so I'm gonna just we're not gonna read through it, obviously, but I'm gonna read through the contents, the table of contents, because the table of contents brings out a lot of good points. All right, this is this third section, moral and religious condition of the Negroes in the United States. Now, remember how the Bible said that one of our curses is that we will be a reproach among the heathen and among the nations where we scattered. All right. So the moral and religious condition of the slave population. All right. Under the first section, it talks about ignorance of the doctrines and duties of Christianity is prevalent among the Negroes. So when the slaves were brought over here, it's telling you that they were ignorant of the Christian doctrines. All right. And this is dealing with from 1620 all the way up to about the 1700s and on forward, because this book talks about how in the 1700s is when they started to take a census of the different Negroes throughout the regions, when they first came here throughout, North Carolina, South Carolina, all of those regions on the East Coast. Intimately connected with their ignorance is their superstition. All right. So our people were ignorant of the Christian doctrines and very superstitious, just like now.
Wow.
Still to this day, people scared to step on the crack because they think it's going to break their mama back. They scared to cross between the poles. Don't cross the poles. Don't sweep my feet with the broom. Their sense of obligation to improve their religious privileges is seriously defective. Who know what defection is? Defection is when a person despises their own heritage and culture to be a part of another. So this is one of the ways that our people show defection and being obligated to improve their religious privileges, their sense of obligation. All right.
Wait, stop there. They recognized then that we had a privilege and that we didn't even recognize. And they took that opportunity to use it against us. All right, you can go on.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah, that's it, man. I just noticed privileges and I was like, wow.
It says they have but a poor standard of moral character. All right. Now that wasn't necessarily wrong, and are indifferent to the general corruption of manners that prevails around them. So a lot of this moral character was judged based on our people not wanting to obey their standards. This is how they were judging it.
Mm-hmm.
Because of it says, and are indifferent to the general corruption of manners that prevails around them. All right. The frequency of church requiring it casts light upon their moral and religious condition. It says brief view of prevailing vices, violation of contract, uncleanness, theft, falsehood, quarreling and fighting, insensibility of heart, profane swearing, drunkenness, and Sabbath breaking. All right, so we know that their Sabbath was a different day, but look at all of the characteristics that they described on our people.
Yeah, hold up. But back then, even then, excuse me, damn, they knew they knew the difference between the Sabbath and the Sunday. Back then, many of them were still keeping Sabbath. But you know what? This is what I really want to hit hard for. Their list: violations of marriage contract, uncleanness, theft, falsehood, quarreling and fighting, insensibility of heart, profane swearing, and drunkenness. All this was the result of them doing this to us. You know, they forced us to not trust one another and giving some people special privileges. You got some people hungry and you got food over there and you better not give it, so you steal it. You know what I mean? You over here going up in there taking a man's wife at will and calling it his fault. I don't even want to get on falsehood, quarreling and fighting, insensibility of heart. All these are their attributes that they forced upon us until today we are the people whom we've become.
And I agree with that, but I'm gonna say this too, Brother Yash. When it comes to these kind of characteristics, you can partly blame your enemy, and I do. The part that I blame on them is they capitalize off of the behavior. A lot of these things were in our people already, and that's what led them to that position.
Yeah, that's true. Because that's why we went into captivity, because of that behavior.
Exactly.
So
that's why the Most High said they furthered our affliction. It's like, you know, like a pimp. You know, you only can take advantage of somebody who is mentally and spiritually unaware of what your actual intentions are. And that's what they did with our people. Because of, like Mashiach said, because the love of many, he said, what did he say? Because of
because of iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
There you go. Because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. He was referring to our people. And that's where you see that quarreling and fighting, the falsehood, the theft, the insensibility of heart, you know, because that's pretty much where we are with each other. And a lot of that is due to, like you said, the part that they programmed in us. That's what causes us to lash out and react the way we do to each other.
Right, but yeah, that's true. But you're right, because when you read the earliest of writings and they speak about our people, they said that you know, our people had a propensity for loving all the other nations around us, but we we fight and bicker and quarrel amongst each other.
Yeah.
Yes, that is so true, and that's what happened in 70 AD. Brother Benai Israel has a good teaching on that, even up to the point from 65 AD up to 70 AD. We was in the city gates fighting one another. We came out, defeated Rome, pushed them back. So they decided to just wait and let us fight one another. And they did a trench around the city gates. I think that's in Luke 19 when Messiah talks about that. And let us, you know, they start to starve us, you know. It's just mentioned in Deuteronomy chapter 28. So that is so true, Brother Yashadi. We always fight among each other, but we love the other nations, even to this day.
Now, you know, they had the Negroes divided up, all right? During chattel slavery, it was your field Negroes and your house Negroes. Then once things started to expand, you had your town Negroes and your city Negroes, right? Comparison with country Negroes, right? That's why sometimes people misunderstand our brother Kadar because he from the country. They think he come off wrong, but he just country, man. You got to know country folks to be able to know that he don't mean no harm. It's just, you know, that's just the type that he is, you know. We southern, you know, country. Then you go further up north, you got your I guess you would call them sophisticated, you know. But we all the same people. Watch this. He said, moral and religious condition of the free Negro. So they was examining us, the free Negro population. This is how they were. This is how they acted. Prevailing vices, lovers of pleasure and show, proverbially idle, improvident, addicted to profane swearing, quarreling, Sabbath breaking, drunkenness, theft, lewdness. Extract from different publications general conclusions on the moral and religious condition of the Negroes in the United States. So this described the free Negroes. So they're able to do all this because they were examining us.
Mm-hmm.
America is it's a corporation, it's a war zone, it's a big science lab. You know? Part 3, it says obligations of the Church of Christ to attempt the improvement of the moral and religious condition of the Negroes in the United States by affording them the gospel. Let's see why they wanted to preach Negroes the gospel. Obligations of the church to afford the gospel to the Negroes in the slave states. Considerations which place them first in their claim on our benevolent attention. They are the most dependent of all people upon us for the word of life. Who writing this? So they saying our people were dependent, the most dependent. Now watch this. They are the most needy and most accessible. Didn't the Most High say that because we wouldn't serve him with joyfulness and gladness of heart, that we would serve our enemies in want and in hunger and in nakedness, right? And in need of all things. And they'll put a yoke of iron upon your neck. They are the most needy.
And we are
dependent.
Even, you know, to this day, we still serving our enemies. If you go buy a car, you go buy a house, that you got to pay tax on for all your life. You go buy food, clothes, whatever, we got to go back to our oppressors, even to this day. And a lot of people miss that point. You know, they'll say, "Oh, I'm not in slavery." And I asked my brother, he's a, you know, doctor, a bishop, whatever, Christianity. I said, if you go buy the house, who do you think owned that construction? Probably some white guy. I said, if you go buy a brand new car, probably some white. I said, all right then. You know, so they miss the point when they look at that. But we would never own nothing in America.
At all. Brother Yash, you have something you want to say?
Nah, I'll just y'all got it right now. Yes.
Now you know this your fault, right?
Mm-hmm. I see it.
I'm right there with you, but this your fault, man. We in the fire together.
I know. I'm gonna get there.
It say the obligation of the church in the slave-holding states to impart the gospel to the Negroes within those states imposed upon us. So they believe, like Brother Kadar said, they wanted to replace us. So now they believe that they have to impart the gospel to us, right? It says, by the providence of God, by the word of God, passages of general character, express commands to master both in Old and New Testament. Express commands to masters, both in Old and New Testament. Relation recognized. It says, we cannot disregard this obligation thus imposed without forfeiting our humanity, our gratitude, our consistency, our claim to the spirit of Christianity. So what are they basically saying right here? By giving us the full gospel, right? By preaching us the full gospel and giving us the full morale, then they will be giving up their humanity and their gratitude and their consistency and our claim to the spirit. That's why they putting it like this. So in other words, it's something they holding back as a means to keep themselves superior, and they're using this religion to do it. And I'm just getting from the table of contents. I ain't even read through this book all the way yet.
This is the evidence of what they've been plotting from the time that we got over here and got here and scattered to around the world. They use religion. You know, the sad thing about it, they use the Bible, and when they did the translation, of course, they twisted, or they didn't read certain scriptures. So actually, they got a slave Bible, and so it caused our people now become atheists. They said they don't believe in the Bible because of what happened. It's sad. It's really sad.
It says, it is the duty of the white churches in the free states to afford the gospel to the Negroes in those states. All right. Pretty self-explanatory. Because of their general poverty, their moral degradation, their dependence upon the whites, and of consistency. Excuses in relations to a discharge of the obligation now provided to rest upon the Church of Christ, usually advanced in the slave straits. All right, so in other words, now this is documenting all the excuses for why they didn't want to preach the Negroes the gospel. So watch this. It says the Negroes have the gospel already. That's one excuse, which we did.
Exactly. But that shows right there that in that one point.
We can't really hear you, Brother Yash.
Oh, you can't? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you better.
Okay. That one point in itself said the whole thing. The Negroes have the gospel already. See, it was a difference, between the North and the South. The South recognized that to give us what we already have would cause trouble for them, and it proved prophetic in a sense with Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, John Brown, and all the uprisings that was going along. All those little uprisings was going on their plantations, because when they tried to give us this gospel, it awakened our people immediately, and they were rebelling. You know, don't believe these hypes that the Negroes were happy. We had some that were happy, but the only reason why they was happy because their masters had enough sense not to beat on them or not to do them like that.
Yeah, you had some who was like that. And it's pretty much showing you that the agenda behind their brand of religion was to make themselves and keep themselves superior.
Mm-hmm.
And to keep us subordinate. There was never any intent of spiritual equality or equality between us and them. That came along later on with the blending of the mega churches and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Hold on. Watch this. Excuses. All right. They are incapable of receiving religious instruction except to a very limited extent. This is what they were saying about our people as it pertains to them giving us the gospel. The gospel meets success among them. We have no means of supplying them with the gospel. They are peculiar.
Peculiar people.
Great difficulties to be overcome. Would you say, brother?
That's it. A peculiar people.
Mm-hmm.
See, what I'm saying is, all of this is showing me that the South knew more, or was willing to accept the danger in the fact of knowing who they had. You know what I mean? With all their points. You know what I mean? They have it's basically when they said the Negroes have the gospel already, they were saying, look, it's for them. They're incapable of receiving religious instruction. We have no right to teach them, except to a very limited extent. All we can do is tell them that the Mashiach came for them.
It's almost as if they understood that they were taking us from something original into something more that they engineered and orchestrated.
Exactly.
What you think, Brother Kadar?
Yes. You notice that we really didn't want to accept that stuff. And later on, well, certain parts, like in Maryland, Virginia, remember we did a teaching on that where we brought out the laws they had that if you become a Christian, you still will be in perpetual slavery.
Yeah.
And you can get baptized, it doesn't matter, you still gonna be in slavery. So a lot of our people start to join that because they try to get easy servitude, which they found out it didn't matter. So yes, they and just like Brother Hav was saying, they didn't want to teach us the true gospel in English because they looked at us as animals too. We got to look at that too also.
Let's go ahead and try to get through this. I know you say you didn't want to be too long, so let me try to get through some more. It says, excuses sometimes urged by the slave owners. So these are excuses to why the slave owners didn't want to give their slaves the gospel. I am a master, but no Christian, and am therefore excused from the duty. That's one excuse. Although I hope I am a Christian, yet I am not qualified to instruct my servants. You can beat the hell out of them though, right? It's another excuse. I live away from my people. The management and religious instruction of servants cannot be united in one person. So I can't beat them and then preach them the gospel too. When I instruct my people, they presume upon it. All right, so these are all the excuses. Excuses sometimes urged by ministers. I am not able to make myself understood by the Negroes. I have no turn for preaching to them, which is true. You know, my church allows me no time to preach to the Negroes. I am willing to do so if I could. All right, so now we starting to kind of see why they set up other Negro preachers over our people and told them what to preach. Objections to the religious instruction of the Negroes in the slave states. Watch this. Objections to the religious instruction of the Negroes. All right, so why didn't they want to give us the gospel, quote unquote, from their perspective, or put us on their level? If we suffer our Negroes to be instructed, the tendency will be to change the civil relations of society as now constituted. So we can't preach them the gospel and expect them not to want to be on the same level with us. That's going to mess up the civil relations. Number two, the way will be open for men from abroad to enter in and inculcate doctrines subversive to our interests or safety. Just basically people coming in and imposing or teaching doctrines. Now, don't that sound like what Pharaoh said when he said, let's afflict them, lest when war come, they join with another nation and over much, right? Don't that sound familiar?
Yes, it does. That's why this right here is the customs of Egypt is what they doing in America. They've been doing that.
Check this out. He said the religious instruction of the Negroes will lead to neglect of duty and insubordination. This is what they want.
Uh-huh.
The Negroes will embrace seasons of religious worship for originating and executing plans of insubordination and villainy.
That sound like the holy days.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
What did the Passover represent? Represent us being set free. You know, Most High brought our people out.
Mm-hmm.
It represent our Mashiach as well.
I want to bring something out real quick. Sister Rochelle, Yah's daughter, asked, and what did peculiar mean in the Hebrew? So I looked it up real quick, and that word was, for peculiar, it was segula, S-E-G or sugalar, but segula, feminine passive part of an unused root, meaning to shut up, wealth, as in closely shut up, jewel, a peculiar treasure, proper and good, and special. But it blew me away because of that word segula. And we got the people, you know, like my family, they get you, and you got the gullas down here in South Carolina. I said, wow, that's where we get gullah from.
Gullah.
Yeah.
Gullah Island.
Yeah, that's peculiar. That meant a peculiar people in Hebrew.
Wow. You remember when I brought out that video where the dude showed the etymology of black, how the true meaning or the true root or etymology of the word black means shining white.
Mm-hmm.
In all different bright colors. That's what the true meaning of black means. It means burning. And so it kind of reminds you when the Mashiach returned, with the brightness of his coming.
Also, he was clothed with a rainbow.
Yeah.
And he gave Joseph a coat of many colors.
Yeah.
Kente cloth.
Yeah, I think, is that the same coat you talking about that comes from Adam? I believe it was. I'm not sure.
From where? Adam? No, Adam has. He said he clothed Adam with skins. Now,
so what coat people are trying to say that Nimrod got?
Nimrod had got the Adam was this when the Most High clothed Adam with the skins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now they try to say it was the skin of a lamb, but there's many different versions of what that skin could be. You know what I mean? And going back to the earliest of times, I have a book, the Book of the Bee, where it says some people said it was a lamb, but then they said there's a plant that you could produce the material from it, and I mean, you know, you can produce clothing from it, and maybe cotton, let's just say, and it made it like one of the finest materials ever. So I'm just saying that to kill the lamb, the Most High killed a lamb for him thing, because it didn't even say that in none of the books of Adam and Eve. But anyway, the point was, so he gave Adam a skin, the skin that he clothed Adam with and Eve. It was handed down after Adam died. It was handed to Seth, and as each of the original fathers died, they handed it down to their sons, and then last it was handed to Noah, and Noah he hid it on the ark. I mean, Noah had it placed away, and they said in the book of I guess that was Jubilees, that when Ham, it says Ham stole them garments, and Ham hid them away for many years, and Ham gave them garments to Nimrod. And Nimrod, when Nimrod put those garments on, that's what made Nimrod become strong. And in the beginning, Nimrod was worshiping and praising the Most High in the mountains.
Right.
But somewhere along the line, Nimrod took a left turn, and you know, eventually what happened was Esau was lurking, and he slew Nimrod.
Yeah, chopped his head off.
Yeah, and after he slew Nimrod, that's when he ran into Jacob, because he figured, okay, I'm a dead man now. Mm-hmm. And that's why he said, what is it to me? You know, is this birthright, seeing that I am a dead man? Yep. You know what I'm saying? So
that story is in Jasher too.
Right. Yep. And so when he sold his birthright to Joseph, he gave those garments, those skins, to Jacob rather. Those skins represented the birthright, and it was given to Jacob in front of witnesses and signed on a document. Where those skins are today, we don't know.
A rich history, boy.
Yes.
That's some X-Men skin. We need to get that. The skin on, we would kick somebody's tail like Hey, if Nimrod did it, and look, he came powerful. First he was all right. You know, it's like the brother was saying. But y'all, I'm ready to get up off of here, but this was good. You know, y'all might keep going on, but I got to get ready for bed.
Nah, that was pretty much about it. Well, it was just this one more part I wanted to read right here. But if you need to go, man, that's cool. I know you said you didn't want to stay on too long.
All right, shalom, brother Yashidi, brother Earth.
Appreciate you, brother Kadar, man.
Saw the Earth and the chat always bring it. Y'all remember, don't say nothing crazy because they're gonna call you out. They call me out plenty of times. Shalom, y'all.
All right, shalom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read this last section right here and then we'll close out. It says, the manner in which the gospel should be communicated to the Negroes so as to meet the character, condition, and circumstances of the people. All right. Manner of preaching. What kind of ministers are needed? Not ignorant, but educated and intelligent ministers. All right. So, in other words, this is who they trying to set up. The ministers to the Negroes should pay attention to his general behavior. That's what deportment is among them. All right. To his manner in preaching, to the style and character of his sermons. What kind of sermons are most suitable? So pretty much this is what Christianity does. Trying to, how it says, how the people heap to themselves, preachers having itching ears. So this is all the pastors doing behind the scenes, trying to figure out what's suitable, what style they need to come with, the manner in preaching. This is why people be, they go to certain churches because the preacher, he's more, his more charismatic, Some preachers might be boring, you know what I mean? Like me, if I was a Sunday preacher, I'd be boring. I'd probably put people to sleep, Brother Yash.
You like to have kids jumping up and down in there.
Yeah, that's probably why people come to my church, just so everybody can go to sleep. You can put my kids to sleep. But what kind of sermons are most suitable? He should see that the strictest order is observed in all his religious meetings. All right. And mark the deportment of the people, mark the behavior of the people. Manner of conducting Sabbath schools. Sunday was a Sabbath, remember? Manuals and plans of instruction. That's where your Sunday, how you go to church on Sunday, you get that program.
The program.
You get the program, the order of the service. You sitting there looking at it like, damn, how much we got on this program today? You're like, man, I'm ready to go home. So you walk in, you looking at the program, and you making sure that they stick to the program. Anything new show up, you're like, man, wait a minute. Yeah, manuals and plans of instruction, manner of conducting plantation meetings, all right? Manners of treating opposition to the work of religious instruction of the Negroes. They trying to instruct us and program us, manner of speaking and acting in relation to the civil condition of the Negroes. This is how you talk to them. It's how you speak to them, They have people who specialize in this, and they send these people out all the time, and they train these people. All right, we done shot another Negro on the street. Go talk to him. This is how you do it. The best form of church organization for the Negroes. All right, so just from the table of contents, and one day we may get into this, but what you think, bro?
I think that's heavy, man. I forgot I sent you that. I said, oh man, because I got a couple other things that I got sitting here waiting for you. I got some good things, but because I did basically I did what you did. I just read through just reading through the contents, that pretty much told me, oh, I did read some of it too, but it pretty much told me about, you know, a lot that was going on. And I was like, man, this is heavy, that our people don't know how bad, you know, we've been had. You know, they and even if you told them, they wouldn't want to believe it, because now they're conditioned just to the fact of, you know, preachers. And I'm glad that we had got sent here in slavery, because if it wasn't for slavery, I wouldn't be a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I heard that.
What the heck? You know, as if you couldn't. I mean, well, what about them people over there in Africa was my question. You know, what about everybody else? So the only ones who could get Christianized through whippings was us. So anyway, I was looking at it and I was saying, wow, you know, we don't realize how much they have taken their time to study every aspect of our life. You know what I mean? Yeah. We don't study them. We already know about them, and we live in denial about them knowing them. Yet they read the word, knew our history, and they studied to find a way to keep us down forever.
It's like everything was clear. If you examine history as we know it to the best of your ability. And this is an interesting comment, Brother Rio, because you seen the urban apologists even in the table of contents of that book right there, how they setting them up even back then. But it's crazy, man. Man, it's so much on my mind. I just lost my train of thought, bro.
I hear you, man. That's how it is, man. Because this gets, you know, like earlier today. It's so funny because it was on my mind about the programming, how we get church program, how we get television program, everything, every aspect of our life, every walk of our life is about programming.
And it's like if you examine the scripture, right? You examine history, everything prior to when those people was established as a nation, you know what I mean? When in 1948, when they set themselves up as the people and everything. Prior to that, everything about us and about history was known. Prior to that, the whole world was still talking about what happened in Egypt. The whole world knew about Egypt. That's why they came in after that and renovated it. So it's like all of that time up to that point, the whole world still knew who Israel was. You know, they still somewhat knew who the people were. Our people knew who they were. But after that, everything was through. Even during slavery, some of our people still knew who they were.
But see, because we've gotten away from the history, I mean, it's one thing to know about the Hamashiach, but it doesn't have the same effect as without the history attached to it. And I'm not talking about the slave history or the what I'm talking about is the fact of the repetitions of going through the genealogies. That's why they didn't want us to know the Old Testament, and the going through the miracles, the things that he did, like the splitting of the Red Sea and the stopping the sun in the sky, and the fires coming down from heaven and devouring the sacrifices, and all these the wonders. They separated us from the works of our fathers. Even the fighting aspect, they especially kept us away from most of them. I mean, we sang, songs, Joshua fought the battle of Jericho and certain things like that. But they were just very good at keeping us away from, Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat, the 12 sons, and running down Reuben, Simeon, it's just running down the names. Mm-hmm. Took it away, took it away from us, took it, made it unpersonal, while telling us it was personal. This is your personal relationship, while at the same time unpersonalizing it, spiritualizing it. So now that once you look in the spirit, you see everything through the eyes of color instead of through the eyes of genealogy. It's crazy. It's almost hard to comprehend the works of witchcraft, which you started out as saying that we're under in the beginning. Christianity has been nothing but witchcraft for us. Just a nicer level. Instead of you getting the willies and the heebie-jeebies, you get a good feeling. So now, instead of your faith delivering you, your faith is deceiving you.
It's like when you read through prophecy, you see the Most High's intent. Like if we were to be honest, and I ask you, when the Most High reestablishes Israel as a nation, once he sets us up and everything, then what would be the purpose for the other nations at that point? What is their appointed position at that point? It will be to serve the Most High's people. Prophecy spells that out clearly. So they just tried to reverse that.
Yeah. And they tried to do it in a nicer type of way. How he said, when the king of Assyria took out the 10 tribes of Israel, removed them, and he put in the wicked nations, Cutha, Sepharvaim, and all those. And then the lions, the Most High sent the lions to devour them. So they sent for a priest to teach him the mannerisms of the land. And after they learned it, they did just enough to stay in their position or to be able to stay in that land. And that's what they did with us. They did just enough. But their time's up now. I'm on a war path now, brother. Since you put that thing up on, about that, I'm on a war path, and I know that we deserve everything we got. But you know what? I ain't taking no prisoners.
Well, shouldn't have sent me that, bro. I think I'm gonna dig into that a little bit.
I will too. Listen, I will too.
And that other one too, the secret relationship.
Yeah, I wish I had volume 2, but I'm gonna look and see if this, because I wanted to find the one about where they had because there was a section in there and that's what I was actually quoting out of the section, like when they founded the NAACP and they found all these black organizations. I mean, we got our first leader of the NAACP a couple of years ago, 2019. So for 100 years, or 100 or more, 100 or so years, over 100 years, it was ruled by Jewish people.
Yeah.
And they always got us fighting these social issues for everybody else under the guise of us, but they made sure that we never mentioned anything about money. And that's why when they bring up reparations today, we get all these leaders, so-called leaders, I don't know who they are, talking against it, or I don't need it. Well, if you don't, they paid you well enough not to need it. What about us?
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And most of these people that are in high positions are in one of them Jewish controlled organizations. Most of them been in the NAACP.
Yeah. They just lining their pockets, man, to be gatekeepers. It's like, that just goes to show how wealthy we could be as a people when you got all these organizations making money off of keeping us down and monitoring us.
Exactly. They spend trillions of dollars. And that's what they mean when they talk about we're $2 trillion economy, $2 trillion every year.
Yeah.
That's the money that they spend in holding us down. That's what it really is. Because we ain't got that. That's a darn lie. Even with, we ain't even got many billionaires.
Nope.
But it's all, it's another part of mental, psychological abuse.
Exactly.
To keep you mad at somebody else, like somebody else is holding you down when you daggone lucky to pay your daggone bills. You know what I'm saying?
But then think about when America talks about Babylon and how Babylon, how the Bible say, you know, when the wicked rule, the people mourn.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's said that, like you said, it's not many billionaires and it's not many millionaires, you know. But if you are a millionaire, then you're considered to be in a certain top percentage. Now that's not really speaking good, because $1 million is really not a lot. And I don't have $1 million, but it's not a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And to have that and be considered in the top is really an insult. But you know, you and me get $1 million, you know, that'll be great.
Oh, it'll be lovely. We'll do some things with that. And that's why they're afraid. Because on one hand, they say, well, and they try to use that excuse. If you gave them this, they would only lose that money and this and that. Come on, man. Sure, some people gonna buy some nice things, but at the end of the day, you're talking about a people who's used to living off of nothing. If you give a people who's used to living off of something, they'll show you how to really live. The truth is, they know if they ever gave us, we're going to take over. And the truth, and that's booked because they're going to give it to us and we're going to take over.
It's like if they gave us reparations, all they're going to do is jack the prices up on everything.
Exactly. That's all they're going to do. Jack it up.
They can do that. They know that a lot of people gonna give a lot of that money back, but it's enough of us that's gonna do other things. But it's by the Most High's will. That's our flesh talking, you know. Most High gonna have to do something really big on our behalf. We gotta really separate, man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, on that note, man, you got anything you want to say before we close out?
Nah, because we'll just go on and on tonight because I'm just looking forward to the next time because we about to turn it up a notch, family.
Yep. Well, on that note, I'm gonna close out, man. I want to thank everybody for chiming in and vibing out with us tonight and dealing with this subject. Just building more on the truth and the reality that the religions that our people are caught up in today fall under the category of us serving other gods, other Elohim, like the curse in Deuteronomy said. So with that, you know, we have to examine the things that we've been accustomed to and taught, you know, and those who are listening in who may not have chimed in, you know, this is just something to put on your brain, you know, something for you to go and make conversation about with the people around you. How has the religion known as Christianity benefited our people? When you read the Bible, the Most High said that when you serve him, that there will be benefits in it. There will be blessings. Our families will be blessed. Our children will be blessed. Our wealth, our land, our houses, our substance, our clothes, our cattle, everything will be blessed on behalf of us serving him. So when you look at our condition, can we say that that's been the case?
And I want to add too, because many of our people, you know, as you get older, you know, if like we probably get raised up a little bit in the church, a lot of them, then they stray for a while, and then after they've been through enough hard times, then they come back to the church and so-called get saved. Now, through my many years of being in there and watching people, it occurred to me one time, and I had to tell my son this, because I guess he was biting into the blessings and all this stuff, listening. He must have been listening to my talk, and I was talking that crazy stuff. Because I remember I had to stop and tell him. I said, white people become Christians or be Christians, and they have all these big houses and nice cars and nice jobs. And I said, listen, man, I said, when you black, I said, most people I see coming here, our people, they come here, they get saved just to get a job. Think about that. You know what I mean? Because we get people, you've been in there. Listen, you got saved. You got a job. Now you got a car. Now you got a house. You bought you some suits and some shoes. And you think you've arrived. You've been lied to about your blessings. A blessing to us is nothing more than a damn job, or a damn good job, but a job nonetheless. Or maybe your business, because I started out doing my own business in there, but the Most High provided before I went to church. And he sent me there. And when he took me out, he continued to. However, a job.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, though. Whether you in a high position working a job or whether you got your own business, you still subordinate.
Exactly.
You had to answer to some things and jump through some hoops and, get some things in order to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And every month you gotta answer to people.
Exactly. You never get out of this cycle of, because I don't care how much you make. Every month somebody got their hand out taking.
Yep. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, just something to consider, brothers and sisters, about not only Christianity, all religions. Anything that you into that don't involve our people solely, question it. Even these so-called black organizations, question them.
Hey, yo, just thinking about all this, I just said, damn, did I pay my cable bill? Now I gotta look and see if I paid some bills, if I missed some bills.
That's a long discussion, boy. A lot of people can have that discussion, but
I'm ready to get a job at the cable company so I can get it for free.
Yeah. See, that's what Baruch say. He said we subject to payments.
Mm-hmm.
Subject to them payments. But yeah, like you say, we can go on and on. I'm gonna get off of here, man. Like I said, I want to thank everybody for your time. I want to thank the brother Kadar, the brother Banya, and the brother Yash for jumping on, having this discussion. Hope it was edifying. If anybody interested in this information, feel free to email us, and let us know what you're requesting, and we'll try to get it to you. Also, don't forget about our brother Cleo Wednesday nights, Kingdom Conversations, 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern. All right. I know I'll be there, so I hope to see you brothers and sisters there as well. Also, Wake Up Jacob, Friday, 12 Central, 12 afternoon Central. That'll be 10 p.m. Pacific and 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern. Look to see you brothers and sisters there for that as well. And don't forget about Friday nights, prayer and fellowship. All right. So on that note, I want to say shalom to everybody. Hope you had a blessed day. Hope you have a blessed night. All right. Got anything, Brother Yash?
Now, shalom and blessings, family.
All right. All praises to the Father, sustainer of all things. All praises to his one and only begotten Son, Yehoshua HaMashiach. All praises to the Ruach HaKodesh, the Spirit of Truth, the Comforter. All right. Shalom.
Shalom.